After doing the research and doing a lot of sketches, it's time for me to actually start to work in Inkscape or other graphic design programs if you choose so. But what do I do with the sketches? Should I scan them to put it here and draw over them, or shouldn't I? A lot of designers like to scan their logos, logo design sketches, and use them as a base and overdraw them. I like to just put the sketch here next to me neatly on the desk and use them as creative ideas, because still here in this part of drawing in Inkscape, I can still be creative and change my ideas. So the first thing I do usually when I create a logo is in Inkscape, is I put the sketches next to me, and then I go to the document properties and turn off the page border. So I click on show page border, I turn it off. So there is no page. That page border is only there for printing, So, and I just want to be free and draw wherever I want. You saw the 3 logo ideas I like the most. Maybe I will create those as the final logos, maybe I will change them, maybe during the process of drawing with the vector in Inkscape I will create something new, a new idea will emerge. This type of creativity, this type of creative freedom will help me to make the best logo for my client they really need. So I usually just start with the one of the ideas which I like the most, because I'm like impatient and I like to enjoy what I do. So my favorite idea so far is the one with little plants going around drawing a circle. In designing logos, this is one good method to use. Is I want to create a shape, a very basic shape. In this case it will be a circle made up from smaller elements. As if you check the previous lessons, you know that this is a Gestalt game, so the small elements together will form a bigger object. Yeah, and I want it to be dark. Yes. So now just what I want to have is different lines. Now I just aim for the lines, and I will finish the top later. I can even duplicate, but it doesn't really matter. Here I put in one more bit looking like parallel with this one, and I'm just glancing at my sketch. One finishing here, one finishing here. For example, as you see, I'm pretty loose with this, because also in this part of the process I don't want to limit myself. There can be some crossing lines, there can be non-crossing ones, and the trick that I use the circle in the background, I fit the edges soon. What I will also do now is create the flowers on the top, and they look like small umbrellas. I will just do some line art. Perfect. Just for now I just make them like this. Obviously this can be shorter than, and this one I want to have a inside as well. I turn off the stroke. Okay, so this looks like a little flower. It can be a bit bigger, yes. I use duplicate, so Ctrl D a lot. This is what I just did. If you use Inkscape a lot like I do, you get used to it pretty much. And I will show you also in a minute why it is a great thing doing when you are doing logo design, also when you do character design for video games or icons or whatever. Duplicating an element is a huge thing in Inkscape, because as you see now, for example, it helps me with sparing some time, as well as I'm just pushing Ctrl D a lot of times. It's not Ctrl C, Ctrl V, it's Ctrl D. So it helps me a lot of time with this, but also not just with small elements, but I can select the whole object, Ctrl D, and put it aside and see how it looks. And it doesn't look like a circle. When I remove the back, because this was my initial idea, it doesn't look like a circle. It is elegant with the little lines, but I need or thicker lines or shorter ones, because this part of the circle is not drawn. I go back with Ctrl Z and I add some more lines, and if I make a mistake, I add some lines or I change some. If I make a mistake, it is easy to go back to the previous state. So this is why the application is so good, because I have the previous one, I work on here, I change my mind, it's easy, it's here, I can go back. And I use Ctrl S and save my design a lot. There is autosave, you can set it up, or you can get used to the habit. What I do is push Ctrl S or hit the little save icon a lot of times. Definitely when you have a good idea, but also when you are just working, save, 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 save. You don't need different versions because Inkscape has a lot of space, so you can just, you know, duplicate your logos and work with that and have as much versions as you want. It's really just about comes to the memory, how much memory your computer has. But I would say Inkscape is good with that. Okay, and I want to change maybe this one. As you see, the circle in the background is more of a placeholder than an actual part of the logo. So I try to, yes, those. Now I select with shift clicking. So I'm holding shift and clicking all the lines, and I go to stroke style and I put them higher, so they are even more visible. What I do is I will shrink the logo a bit. Here you see this icon is turned off, so it means when I'm shrinking my logo, the lines will get a bit thicker. I will see it in a second if it is a good idea or not. Just make it shorter a bit. Fine. When I'm working in Inkscape, the other thing I do is I zoom a lot. I like to work, as you see, in big scale. I like to work on the details, and as you know, I go for simplicity, so I work a lot on removing details. And I zoom in and zoom out a lot. I want to see my logo in different sizes. So what is helping me, I'm holding Control and I'm using my mouse wheel up and down, and I'm zooming in and out with that. Or I can use, if you're lucky like me, you can use the, of course, the zoom tool, like the magnifying glass. I don't use it in my it's here. Okay, or you can use simply plus and minus on your numeric keyboard if you have one like I do. Okay, and this is a smaller version. Ctrl D, and let's remove this thing just to say not bushy enough. So what I will do is add some more, and then I will show you some more stuff. Like this, and then I want this to be, I'm holding shift to create a stroke color, Ah, maybe I don't need it here, I need it here. Good. Yes. And maybe one here. One here and one here. No, I just use this little flowers. I will work on those details more for you. Okay. And I need one more here. Okay. Let's remove it. Almost. The only thing I don't want to do is to be too direct about this circle. I want the viewer to build up this circle himself. You know, that's why it's a game. It's a Gestalt game, which I said earlier. So I don't put the circle behind, and I don't want to put any of the lines on the edge. So I don't want to have a line like this, like okay, drawing perfectly around the circle, because this is not what I want. I want this to be as a bush taken out of nature, like it's a photo and there is a mask on it with a circle. Okay, so there are these different plants, different branches. Here it is. Let's make it more like a bush. Maybe one more here, like this. It's not a final one, of course. It has these issues. This is the point where I'm not sure what to delete and what to keep, so I'm duplicating, and I am changing this element. I'm trading this one for this one, and these ones can cross here, it's nice, and I just put this one a bit lower, and this on the top. So the circle is not perfect, it's just almost perfect. That's a good one, and maybe a small here. So I duplicate this. With age, I shift it, I flip it vertically. Yes, and maybe this one can come from the same root. We can have a difference. There's too much crossing in the bottom, that's what I didn't like. Okay, so what we have now is here I just double click at the node and delete it. So what I have now is something I would like to have. I just use Ctrl G to group it, and let's see what I have here. If I remove or create the white circle, it still looks like a circle. So in small I can see little scratches, little fine lines and branches, and also I can see almost a good circle. What I will as well add is I open the group with Shift Ctrl G. I add some more flowers here, so something like this, and maybe this. and also on the side. Of course I will work more on these than I can show in these small lectures, but you get my point. I'm using the tools in Inkscape mostly, duplicating, zooming in and out, and checking what I can do. Okay, let's see how we look now. Make the background. Yes. Maybe I don't need the little caps here. You can just add some lines without being a cap. Yeah. It has a white fill like it was visible. Like this. Now it's here, it's a bit thicker than on this side. So let's see if I remove this, what do I look? Better. And maybe if I put it in here. Maybe I don't even use. Just click on any color on the back. You see, when I'm scaling, the stroke is not scaling because I do it with style. I turned off the scale stroke property. Okay, and now let's see what we have now. Duplicate, group up, turn this to white or delete it. Okay, I have now this logo. It looks a bit too much. I just have an idea. Just want to try something, and this is what I say, that you can be playful. Just curious how it looks if it has a. If this would be a logo with the letter O, it would be perfect. So I can still use this idea for letter V, for example. But still now I have a little circle. It's not perfect because still I'm missing some part here, and I will work on that. But I'm already just for trying. This is just a base sans serif font coming with Inkscape. And I add some thick white stroke just to make it inner looking. So it's a bit of a cheating. I just want to look at it. How would my logo look? And it looks pretty much how I imagined it. So if I zoom out, I see a little circle. If I zoom in, I see a circle with some plants in it, or they are looking like nails a bit. I have to work on the top of each flower, but you get my point. I created one of the ideas I sketched up earlier. So now I move on to the next one, and then the next one, and then I finish some of them to present to my client. And I'm also will look into this idea because this could be good. As you see, because I was using duplication from the start to here, I have some ideas, and this is what I love in Inkscape, to look back to all my ideas, because I never know, when I look back to this, I maybe see something different. So maybe like now I can say, okay, this is nice, but how about having a stroke paint not 6 but 4? And they went a bit, as you see, they went a bit lighter. And with this one can be even more thin. Obviously I will look up thinner font, and I will talk about typefaces later on. Just for now, it's also a sketch for me. Okay, and let's see the next one in the next lesson.